Today, give your senses a rush from whirling windmills in Shattuck to wailing woofers in Stillwater and drag boats on the Oklahoma River.
Travel with AAA's Discover Oklahoma.
Hi, and welcome to AAA's Discover Oklahoma. I'm Jennifer Reynolds, and this week we're finding destinations with sensory overload, and that's why we're coming to you from Kicker World Headquarters in Stillwater. We'll tell you more about this very interesting place a little bit later in the show. But right now, what is there in Oklahoma that fills up our senses any more than the wind? After all, we are the state known for the wind sweeping down the plain. Our Jeff Roberts is always blowing and going, and he's found a place in Shattuck that is dedicated to that legendary Oklahoma breeze.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. You know, it's a good thing it does, because if it didn't, we wouldn't be able to talk about windmills and the Windmill Museum here in Shattuck. Those things are so cool.
Wow, there must be at least 50 windmills here. Where in the world did they find them all?
Many of them have come from people right close by here, yes.
The first 7 windmills were gathered here in the early 90s, and now there are nearly 50. Each with its own style and splendor. But make no mistake, there are brains behind the beauty.
So many companies made them because it was the only way we could survive out here in this country. We had to have them to pump the water from. We have a wonderful Ogallala aquifer underneath the ground here, but to get water out of it, we have very few running streams in this area, and it's mostly sand, and so we really needed to get down into that aquifer to get our water out.
After all, the windmill watered crops and the stock and turned dry land into productive land. Some of these windmills date to the mid-1800s. Here's one that's a little different.
Yes, that Dempster number 11 is the first one that was made with an oil box on it. In other words, most of these windmills were just, originally they were just the machinery that you see. And the people have to get up there and oil them like every week to keep them running and keep them good.
They are soothing in their own way and quite lovely against the sky. But they are more. They are a reminder of the days when this land was settled, a tribute to those pioneer families who came and stayed. Windmills are still in use out here on the prairie. The styles have changed, but the purpose is still the same. And the Shattuck Windmill Park grows every year to salute not just the machines, but a way of life.
John Shepherd right here made us a poor man's windmill. It's called a homemade windmill, and they made it with just stuff that they had around the farm, and that's exactly what Don did too. And yesterday, you should have seen that thing. It was really cranking. It was really going like really fast.
The museum's little farmhouse and authentic dugout are both great conversation starters, especially for those older folks who want to explain to us kids about the way things used to be.
Oh, the kids. The kids love to go into the farmhouse, and the kids love to go into the dugout. But I'll tell you what, those kids have no idea what they're getting into. They go into that dugout, and you'll stand there and you'll talk to them, and you'll say, you know, a whole family lived here, and they'll say, how many? And sometimes you'll say, well, I think there were 9 in this family. But they'll look around and they'll say, my room is bigger than this.
The interesting thing about the museum is the exhibits are always changing. Like every time the wind changes? Okay. But you will get a different view from anywhere you look. Look over there. Look at that one. Hey, check out this one.
Whoa, I am winded. Yeah, the pun was intended. In Shattuck, I'm Jeff Roberts.
In the past few decades, there's been a growing interest in wind energy, and our Dina Olali went to check out all the wind farms popping up in western Oklahoma that are raising these turbines to glorious new heights.
One can't help but take notice of the wind turbines along I-40 when you're passing by Weatherford. They stand majestically and sometimes almost eerily on both sides of the highway, those gigantic propellers turning 18 to 22 rotations per minute against the famous Oklahoma winds. Well, now you can see a wind turbine sort of up close and personal. The Heartland Museum in Weatherford is in charge of those tours, and for the past several years they've become increasingly popular with tourists. Rick Lundquist is the man who'll guide you through this unusual, fun, and informative tour.
We give a 20 to 25 minute slideshow presentation showing the construction of the wind turbines from the time they drive the stake in the ground to the time they put the blades on the tower. And then that's followed by a question and answer period. And then we take you to a wind turbine site out on the wind farm. Then we take you down by City Hall and they have one of the wind turbine blades on display.
I was quite excited to see one of the turbines up close, given I've driven by them for years.
Rick, I got to tell you, it's very cool to be out in a field of them, if you will. And I think you said people have the same reaction when they come out. They just take on a life of their own when they get close to them, don't they?
Yes, people are really amazed at the difference from viewing them from the road to getting right up next to one, how much taller and bigger they are.
Tell me about the placement of them. They're obviously not in straight rows and 2 or 3 rows deep or anything of that nature. How is that determined?
Well, they do wind current studies all the time. All of the different companies do wind current studies to kind of determine the best placement for them. Not to pinpoint them, but to get into the wind current, actually.
And of course, everything is computerized. The nacelle, or bus-looking structure on the top of the tower, holds the brains, and it actually is as big as a bus. It weighs 60 tons and takes a 48-wheel trailer to haul it in. But the blades are computerized, so they turn into the wind. They automatically pitch the blades, they can judge the wind speed, and even ice. And if the winds reach over 56 miles per hour, everything will shut down. Rick says people just seem to be fascinated with these structures, which stand over 360 feet tall. And needless to say, it not only takes time to put them together, but a lot of money.
It's quite expensive. Each one of these turbines, when they were built, cost approximately $1.2 million to build. And there's 98 of them out there.
And finally, you can really see a blade extremely up close and personal on display at City Hall. Each one measures 122 feet in length. They're really something to see, and there's some fun information about the wind turbines on display. Now, after you take this tour and you drive past them again at some point, I think you'll certainly appreciate just how they are built and how they function, as well as some fun facts about them. It simply won't be anything that's just blown in the wind. In Weatherford, I'm Dean O'Lally.
To schedule a wind energy tour, just go to the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com for links to the Heartland of America Museum in Weatherford. Up next, an audio adventure you don't want to miss. We'll kick up the volume significantly when AAA's Discover Oklahoma continues.
Hey, how's Kara doing?
Great. Absolutely loves being in college.
Sam?
Just started driving.
Watch out.
Yeah, we just added him to our AAA membership. Smart move.
I'm just glad we have good insurance.
Who do you guys use?
We switched over to AAA auto insurance. With another driver in the house, it just made sense to check out pricing. AAA saved us a ton.
I didn't know they had insurance too.
Yeah, auto, home, and life.
Remember that time when we snuck Dad's car out and got that flat?
Here they go again.
Well, AAA came and fixed it, and the folks never found out.
Found out what?
Nothing, Dad.
Talking about the time you two snuck the car out while we were gone.
You knew?
Well, of course. Why do you think Mom and I added you girls to our AAA membership? Never told you I always check the odometer, did I? Oh, great idea.
Thanks, Grandpa. AAA Insurance, for the ones that matter most to you. Give us a call today or talk to a AAA agent nearest you.
Welcome back to AAA's Discover Oklahoma. We're coming to you from Kicker World Headquarters in Stillwater this week, and there are sounds heard around the world emanating from this place. Come on, give it a listen. It's the quintessential success story, a thriving international corporation, an icon in the stereo sound world that found its base, pun intended, in a Stillwater garage.
My dad helped me build my first speaker for my keyboard, and that was kind of the thing, I guess, that sparked the interest, and it was something that was fun to do, and it made a lot of bass and shook the windows. And then I found a book in the library on loudspeakers and enclosures, which I was looking for, but it just kind of sparked my interest that, wow, I really like this, and I think I can really, get into it.
Steve Irby was a musician who really cared about sound, so he spent about a year studying speakers and then started a speaker company with his roommate in their garage. Their first success came fairly quickly, a speaker built in 1980 for oilies to put in their pickups.
It was kind of an immediate success. Most people had never heard something like that and that put out that much sound and that much bass, and especially in a pickup cab, it was really small.
The Kicker's success story and the products of their passion are proudly and creatively displayed at the Kicker World Headquarters and Visitors Center in Stillwater. You'll come away believing, as they do, that great sound makes every life adventure even better. And so do the toys.
We have a team of guys that build our show vehicles, and they kind of transform cars and motorcycles or ATVs or you name it. They transform it into something else that becomes a show vehicle.
The visuals here will capture your imagination, but this is a company built on audio, so as you might expect, the pièce de résistance is built of speakers.
We refer to passionately here at Kicker as the wall of boom. Every group does the same thing. Is I get a group of about 35 people here, kids, and they're all huddled up and they're ready to go. And when I hit this track and it hits, they all like this, because it just completely blows them away.
I knew from the look of it that the wall of boom could probably make your ears bleed, but in the essence of discovering Oklahoma for you, I was willing to put myself in harm's way.
Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Way beyond sound, the wall of boom is the total sensory overload, with an effect best measured on the Richter scale. I swear it had to be shaking downtown Stillwater, but with an undistorted musical clarity that is really the point here, not the volume.
Bass is the emotion and the passion of music, and without it, it's bland. And that's what we're good at as a company. We understand bass.
So if you've been feeling a bit off kilter these days, feeling that perhaps you need to find your bass, the folks at Kicker may have just the boost you need. You'll find more information on the Kicker World Headquarters if you go to the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com. What do you say we cruise Route 66 with a couple of motorcycle maniacs? You'll feel the wind in your hair and the bugs in your teeth when AAA's Discover Oklahoma returns.
It was almost comical. It was like, I can't believe this even happened. I look down the street, I see there's a tree across my son's car. I was just like, I called my AAA agent, Patty. She said, we can take care of this. AAA and Patty are great. You just feel like they have your back. They make everything as easy as possible. I mean, they really take good care of us.
Get great service, low rates, and a free auto insurance quote today.
It was a Saturday morning and I went to an exercise class. As soon as the class ends, I go to the parking lot and somebody had stolen my car. I couldn't believe it. So I called AAA Insurance. They offered me a rental car. They told me everything was gonna be all right. So when my car was found a week later, they said, Bob, you need to change the locks on your car. I would have never thought about that if it wasn't for AAA. They really took care of me.
Get great service, low rates, and a free auto insurance quote today.
Welcome back to AAA's Discover Oklahoma, coming to you from Kicker World Headquarters in Stillwater. Check this out. This is a bike they custom made for Captain Phil, the late Captain Phil from Deadliest Catch on Discovery Channel. One of the great things you can see here at the Kicker World Headquarters if you come pay a visit. And if you love motorcycles, you're going to want these too. This is the latest issue of Oklahoma Today magazine. It's the motorcycle issue. And check this out. It's the new motorcycle guide. These are both going to make you glad you were born to be wild. Oklahoma Today's May-June issue is on newsstands now, and it's going to make you want to hit the road on 2 wheels. The main feature is called The Motorcycle Diaries. You'll discover some of the best motorcycle routes in the state. Pick up your copy to see Oklahoma's digest on all things motorcycle, from choppers and cruisers to patches and leathers. Pick up the May-June issue of Oklahoma Today at select bookstores around the state or at oklahomatoday.com. Oklahoma Today, the magazine of Oklahoma since 1956. Bikers are also revved up over the first ever brochure from the Oklahoma Department of Tourism and Recreation dedicated solely to motorcycling in Oklahoma. This guide maps out 8 great rides, motorcycle laws, and even some don't-miss attractions along the way. Order your free motorcycle guide online at travelok.com. Well, since wind and sound seem to be sort of the prevailing themes of this show, what would be better than to rev up your engine and then breeze down Route 66 on the back of a Harley? Jeff Roberts and Dino Lally think there's no better way to spend an afternoon.
To ride Harleys down Route 66, one has to look, well, good. Jeff and I picked out a couple of jackets, and of course we had to accessorize with hats to cover up helmet hair, got some boots and some other items.
Jeff found something else he wanted to try on. So Jeff, are you about ready?
I think I need a bigger size.
Okay, first of all, I know it's a hot day and you want to look cool, but in shopping for the clothes, you need to stay on that section alone.
Why?
If you wear that, you're going to ride on the back.
Why did you pick this out for me? Is what I want to know.
After getting Jeff back on the proper side of the store, I asked Todd Langley, store manager of Edmond Harley-Davidson World Shop on Broadway in Edmond, about riding motorcycles on Route 66, and he says it's incredibly popular.
We get tons of people that stop in here. Tourists even from other countries that come through. They'll come through in a big group, stop in. Some of them barely speak English. It's really popular. We put a lot of the Route 66 stuff on our shirts and stuff because that's why people stop in here. So it's a big deal.
Okay, Jeff, we're dressed up, ready to go. You ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll.
All right, go ahead, take the lead.
All right, I get to go first?
Yep.
There is something about the freedom of riding down the open road on a Harley. It's almost like a Zen thing. What a great way to relax and enjoy the scenic beauty of Route 66. Jeff and I traveled to Stroud first and would work our way back west.
All right, that was fun. I enjoyed that. But what's our first big point? What do we hit?
Well, we're looking for that elusive shoe tree somewhere around in this area.
All right, I think it's just east of town. But before we do anything else, I think we have to get some sustenance.
Yes, and right here at the Rock Cafe, I think we got to get some food, don't we?
I think we need to go do it.
Let's do it.
Don Welch bought the Rock Cafe in 1993, a true icon on Route 66. There's a lot to choose from on the menu. My favorite is the schnitzel, and you can't beat the atmosphere. Our next stop, the quirky shoe tree. It appeared the original had toppled over, but don't despair. A new tree has been started, and of course Jeff and I had to do our part to continue the tradition.
Well, that was kind of fun in a strange, bizarre sort of way.
It was kind of fun, actually.
What do you think happened to that original tree over there?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe a foot fungus.
Oh, you are bad.
As we head back to the west, we stop at the old Chandler Armory building. It's there you'll find the Chandler Route 66 Interpretive Center. This is a visually entertaining ride starting with the early 20s through present day, coincidentally enough, on Route 66. As we travel to the other side of Chandler, we found the perfect stop for our journey.
Well, I'm having a good time, but
Me
I
too.
also want to take a second to thank Todd Langley at Harley-Davidson World on South Broadway in Edmond for letting us test drive a couple of Harleys.
Yeah, tough gig, but somebody's going to do it. You know, one of the icons here on Route 66 that we found out is the Seba station we're at right now. Opened in 1924, stayed open as a gas station all the way through 1996.
That's right, and if you love motorcycles and we're doing a motorcycle trip, you got to check it out.
Come on.
This is now the Seba Station Motorcycle Museum. What a very cool place indeed. You can walk through and admire the 85 different motorcycles on display. You'll find them ranging from 1909 to present day. They also have machine shop memorabilia as well as antiques for sale. It's been a blast riding down Route 66, but as we wrap up our trip, we have to pull into Pops.
I got to tell you, riding like that just makes you feel all manly.
I know, man. I'm like,
Wait. No, not so much. It's more like the mile bunch, not the wild bunch.
I think so, yeah.
But I tell you one thing, I am ready for a drink.
A good, stiff, hard drink, right?
Absolutely.
Sarsaparilla, I'll buy.
Works for me. Okay.
All right, here.
Thank you very much.
At Pops in Arcadia, drinking a sarsaparilla, I'm Dino Lally.
We're not done yet. How about some more hair-raising adventures as we blend speed and water into some thrills and chills? Not your average watercraft and not your typical river. See what we mean when AAA's Discover Oklahoma returns in just a couple of minutes.
Thanks for all your help.
Hey babe, what you doing?
Oh, I just switched our insurance over to AAA.
Why? We've been with our guys for years.
I know, but I met with the agent and she showed me how AAA could match our coverage and save us money by bundling our home and auto insurance.
Really? Well, did we get a discount? I mean, we've been with those guys for years.
Yes, and with the extra money we saved, I was thinking we could take that second honeymoon we've always talked about.
Hey, I am all about that.
So, with all the travel discounts we get for being AAA Oklahoma members.
Well, I do have some vacation time I need to take.
Oh, good, because our room is right on the ocean.
You already booked it.
I did?
What are you guys up to?
Nothing, we're just getting some dinner started.
When are you leaving?
AAA Insurance, for the ones that matter most to you. Give us a call today or talk to a AAA agent nearest you.
Welcome back. AAA Oklahoma makes this show possible and does a lot of other great things around our state. Here's a look at today's AAA.
Hello, Chuck May here with AAA Oklahoma. We've always been strong supporters of making sure drivers are safe on the roads, which is why we support a number of charitable causes that advocate just that, safety. The AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety is one such organization. They are dedicated to saving lives, reducing injuries, and enhancing traffic safety. Since 1947, the foundation has funded hundreds of projects designed to discover the various causes of traffic crashes, how to prevent them, and how to minimize injuries when they happen. AAA has used this research to develop high-impact educational materials for drivers, as well as bicyclists and others who use the roads. This is just one of the many charitable organizations that AAA Oklahoma fully supports. Our goal is to make sure that all of your driving experiences are safe ones. Until next time, may the road lead you to exciting new discoveries. Whether it's insurance, travel, or peace of mind on the road, think AAA every day.
AAA, for the ones who matter most to you. Well, so far we have harnessed the wind, manipulated sound, and I think Jeff Roberts and Dino Lawley exceeded the average posted school zone limit on their Harleys. So what could possibly be left? Arshel Wagner has found some high-speed adventure on the Oklahoma River.
If you still think of the Oklahoma River as the place that needs to be mowed twice a year, then we need to bring you up to speed. Speed's around 250 miles an hour, as a matter of fact, for the Oklahoma City Nationals professional drag boat races coming in June to the Oklahoma River. MAPS 1 is to thank for our 7 beautiful miles of river with actual water in it, which is now home to Olympic rowing and kayaking, to river cruises, and for 1 weekend a year, drag boat racing.
It's the largest motorsport event in the state of Oklahoma. We'll have over 100 race teams here.
Teams come from all over the country to experience one of the premier racing venues in the U.S. The recessed river protects the liquid speedway from the wind, which allows for faster and safer racing. Spanning 3 family-friendly days, race fans will see 10 different boat classes competing, from personal watercraft all the way up to the top-fueled hydro boat that'll go 250 miles an hour in a quarter mile.
In less than 5 seconds. So they put on a good show. Start out with Friday night at the races on Friday, which is a new event for us, from 4 to 9 o'clock, and then we'll have a concert and a fireworks show on Friday night. They might want to bring their lawn chairs or their blankets, find a shady spot along the shoreline, and again, we have a kids area. On Saturday, June 9th for the races, we have invited all post 9/11 Oklahoma veterans and their families, their immediate families, to come join us for the races as our guests, because we want to honor them and recognize them and have a special day.
You can sign up to attend Salute to the Troops at okcnationals.com. On Sunday, qualifiers in each class compete for top prizes in the finals of the Oklahoma City Nationals. So if the last vehicle you saw going down this river was a riding lawnmower, then I'd say you're long overdue for a visit.
and this awe-inspiring event is sure to bring you up to speed. At the Oklahoma City Nationals drag boat races, I'm Shel Wagner.
The pro drag boat races are one of the major events taking place this season on the Oklahoma River. We'll have a link for you to all the event info you need from the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com. That's our show for this week. A big thanks to the folks at Kicker World Headquarters in Stillwater for hosting us, and to you for joining us. We hope you'll tune in next week. Next week, destinations you can dig, from crystal digging on the Great Salt Plains to sifting through a museum's ancient treasures and excavating an exhibit with archaeological artifacts from the Holy Land. Hope you'll join us. Until next time, remember, there's always something to discover in Oklahoma. Production vehicle provided by the Oklahoma Ford Dealers, official partner of the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department.